Well, hello there, Gemini. How are you? It is so good to see you again. I'm Mary Sue, and I'm so grateful that you're here. So today we're going to do your mid-July reading. So this is good from now until about mid-August. We'll take a look first at the overall energy with the oracle cards, and then we'll go to the tarot to get some more details about any obstacles or blocks on your path and how you can, work through those obstacles in order to manifest what your heart truly desires. All right, well, let's jump into it. Let's see what is on the horizon for you, Gemini. Grounding, go deep, explore your roots. Okay, I am going to say this card is coming out a lot. I'm getting a kind of interesting energy here. I think there is something about really grounding yourself and knowing who you are and what it is that you desire, because things are going to speed up for you. Okay, so the grounding energy is your root chakra, the first chakra. Your sense of safety and security. And when life speeds up, right, whether it speeds up and, brings a lot of new options onto your path, choices that you're going to need to make, it's this energy of allowing yourself to go back to who you are, to know your core values, to know who you are, what it is that you want, so that when opportunities come, you don't get confused in the chaos of making those decisions, but it's also about aligning those decisions in order to go towards what it is that you really and truly do want. In other words, being able to say, yes, please, I'll take that opportunity, or no, thank you, based on what it is that your heart truly desires. Making those choices out of love instead out of, chaos or fear, or, is this the only opportunity I'll get? I better take it. It's allowing yourself to kind of like be calm and peaceful and in a loving energy when you're making your decisions, because you have lizard spirit. I was saying lizard. Dream the world into being. Okay, so you see, this is very much to me my Two of Wands energy. You see how the lizard is kind of like in between two wands or two reeds, we'll say here, right? Having to choose. In other words, there's this energy where you are going to have choices coming onto your path. It's recognizing that you also can say no thank you, right? You don't have to say yes to every opportunity. And for some of you, if it's been a long time since you've had new people, new relationships, new job opportunities, new career options coming onto your path, sometimes we can fall into that, oh my goodness, finally things are happening, I better just jump onto anything new that comes onto my path. This is allowing yourself to straddle between different options and asking yourself which one is more in alignment with the direction I want to go in. And we cannot make those decisions unless we know who we really are. And that's what this energy is. Know who you are, know what is important to you. Even if you don't know exactly where you want to go, knowing who you are and what's important to you, right, is that first step as far as allowing yourself to make decisions based on where it is that you want to go. Even once again, if you don't have clarity about where you're wanting to go, that's okay. As long as you know who you are, you can align your decisions to those core values. And I think, didn't that come out in your last reading? Something about really sitting down and asking yourself, what are your core values? You can just do an internet search for core values, and there'll be a list of 100 or 500 core values. Sit with those. Go sit by a tree. Go sit by some water and really look at those core values. Ask yourself which one of these, and pick 3 to 5. You don't need more than that. Which 3 or 5 core values are really in alignment with, who I am? Which ones are really resonating with me? Which of these traits would I like to have in the people that I surround myself with, especially romantic partners? This is the energy of getting really clear about what's important to you so that you can make decisions as new opportunities come onto your path. Yes, and then you have care. Be gentle with yourself, right? There is no energy here about going fast and furious. This is the energy of really allowing yourself to have some time to reflect on how far you've come on your path, on how you have changed, how you are not the same person that you were a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, right? We have the number 38, 3 plus 8 equals 11, perhaps 11 years ago, right? Allowing yourself to say, how far have I, celebrating, how far have you come? Your core values, I guarantee you, are different today than they were a year ago, 5 years ago, 11 years ago. You're not the same person. If you're drawn to this channel, you are on a spiritual journey of personal growth and soul evolution. So you are not the same person. So you can't allow yourself to think that you can move forward into new opportunities and situations and relationships following the same core values that you had previously, because you're not the same person. And it's okay. That means that you have done a lot of soul growth, a lot of personal growth, a lot of soul evolution, celebrating that, and then also saying, okay, now I have to reassess what really and truly is important to me. 10 years ago, and maybe having a high profile corporate job with a big title and perhaps, a lavish lifestyle may have been important to you. Today, curling up with your kitty cat or dog, right? It may be the way that you find joy in the world. Those are two different extremes, right? But it's about recognizing, I'm not the same person. So how can I allow myself to be gentle enough to myself to say, it's okay. It's okay if what I want to prioritize today is different than it was before. Okay, because look at this, Gemini, you're breaking a pattern. You are truly breaking a pattern. And that pattern begins, and I'm saying you are also manifesting. This is the law of attraction card, okay, by the book. Manifesting, but knowing that you can only manifest what it is that you are thinking about, right? And it says, dream the world into being. Dream the world. Manifest the world that you are wanting. But the first step is knowing who you are and what is important to you. You do have loyal heart and you have peace here, right? Coming into this energy, I'm going to say the loyal heart is about other connections that we have with people, whether they're family, their friend, they're romantic, but it's also the connection that we have with ourselves, right? Loving ourselves enough to say, I know who I am, and therefore my core values are in alignment with what is good for me and not necessarily what's good for the people that I have around me, right? Your core values have changed because you've allowed to disconnect from some people or situations in your life where you learned, perhaps through toxic relationships or situations, that those weren't the core values of the people that you were surrounded by, right, were not in alignment with the core values that are true to you. Yeah, you have man holding a heart. Okay, Gemini, this is kind of interesting because I feel like for some of you, perhaps you are trying to manifest. Maybe it's not a romantic connection, right? Maybe it is just having a really good friend, whether it's a fur friend or a human friend, right? Somebody to join you on your path. Maybe for some of you, it's just, a good friend, a good companion. For others of you, it could be a romantic partner. But whoever this is, okay, it's first knowing that you want to be in this energy of loving yourself. The King of Cups is someone that does make decisions based on the heart and not on the ego or the fear of not having the life that you want or the life that other people want for you, right? Is making those decisions based on what it is that you want. Yeah, this is just beautiful. Okay, wow. Okay, this is the end of a big cycle. So ask yourself where you are today. Do you want to go and repeat another cycle? Okay. And for some of you, it could be repeating a cycle with somebody from the past, right? Do you want to repeat that cycle? Do you want to hold on to or return to mindset, beliefs, patterns of behavior that you've had in the past? Or are you ready to allow yourself to say, been there, done that, got the t-shirt, the bumper sticker, and I am ready to move on? Because this is an energy of knowing. It is time to clean out the old so that new truly can come in. For some of you, if you feel like you've been stuck for a while on a hamster wheel, that new things aren't coming in, part of the thing is that you're holding on to the past. And if it's not that you're necessarily holding on to wanting somebody from the past to return or wanting to return to a situation from the past, right? You may be saying, no, I don't want that. I've cleared that out. I don't want to return. But ask yourself, are you holding on to the core beliefs or the core values that is with that person or that situation, right? The energy of that person or that situation. Is there something about that situation where you haven't quite yet cleaned out the core value that's kind of holding you to that? So let's take an example, okay? Here's the King of Cups. In the past, may have been very attracted to a King of Pentacles or a King of Wands. So a King of Pentacles is somebody that's very financially stable, generous with their money, right? Is willing to, lavish things to you, is responsible and reliable. In the past, though, maybe you've also been attracted to King of Wands. King of Wands are very passionate, very romantic, right? Sweep you off your feet. They have wild, adventurous lives. and it can be something that's really kind of like stimulating and inspiring, and you go in that direction. But the King of Wands only is worried about himself. The King of Pentacles is only worried about perhaps his business and creating more money for himself, right? The King of Cups is different. The King of Cups is somebody that is artistic, creative, can be very romantic, but at the same time is very emotional, right? Is willing to be open and with you, share their feelings, be vulnerable, but they also are expecting that from you. And part of it is that sometimes we allow ourselves to get into those relationships with King of Pentacles or a King of Wands, right? A King of Swords is somebody that's very illogical, right? No, is kind of a little bit black and white, this way or that way, And sometimes it's nice to be in a relationship with somebody like that. But the downside of that, the shadow side, the wounded side, is that they also want us to follow their idea of what is right and wrong. So here's the King of Cups. This is somebody that is wanting to open their heart, be vulnerable, wants to have those heart-to-heart connections with you, wants to know all of your secrets, all of your fears. They want to know the good, the bad, and the ugly about you. And they're willing to share that about themselves. But sometimes, Gemini, that is a little overwhelming. The King of Cups is sometimes the scariest one of all, because it means that we have to open up that part of ourselves that maybe we've even had a hard time admitting to ourselves what our own fears are, what it is that we really and truly do want. Allowing ourselves to have that relationship with ourselves, because the King of Cups wants a relationship, wants a deep emotional relationship. And so it's kind of like you have to allow yourself to have a relationship with yourself so that then you're also able to have a relationship with this person. And I think that's exactly where you are at this time. And it can be really scary, right? It can be this energy of, I don't know, you probably have never even experienced that. right? Or if you've been open with your heart, truly open, and shared yourself raw, right? Like shared all of it with somebody, they may have either laughed at you or ridiculed you or used that against you in a relationship, especially if you were in a very toxic relationship. And they also weren't very open with their emotions, or they could have lied or deceived you by pretending that they were open with their emotions when they really weren't. This is you allowing yourself to get really, where was that? Be gentle with yourself. Being gentle with yourself, opening up your heart to yourself, having that relationship with yourself first, asking yourself what it is that's really important to you without thinking about anybody else, right? What's important to you? What is it that you really want? Because you're at a point where you have done so much healing. You are at this point where you have evolved and grown so much. You are not the same person you were when you were in a relationship with a King of Pentacles, a King of Swords, or a King of Wands. You're ready for the King of Cups relationship. It's just that you have to allow yourself to be gentle with yourself, knowing that this is a new road. This is a new path. It means that you have to allow yourself to step onto this path using different tools than you've used before. You cannot allow yourself to follow the same behaviors or beliefs that you've used before, right? It's a time for new things. It's definitely, okay, this is a new adventure for myself, because look, you have the Ace of Wands. You know you have to turn your back on some of the behaviors or the beliefs that you've had in the past. You do not want to repeat it. So it's almost as if you have to allow yourself to say, when I'm choosing differently than what I chose before. I'm not allowing myself to repeat anything that I've done in the past. Because if you choose something that's similar to what you had in the past, then you are only going to get more of that. And this is like a crossroads. I'm going to say, I didn't tell you, all right? But this is, you have the Death card and you have the Judgment. It is time to allow yourself to say, that was the older version of myself. That was the version of myself that went through a healing journey in order to get to the place where I am. I am on a new path, and now I can align myself to new core values, right? More evolved core values, more belief in myself, confidence in myself, because your heart has been broken in the past. But now you're walking away from the heartache because you realize that through the heartache, you have gained so much insight and wisdom and love and confidence for yourself. And that is what is going to attract in the King of Cups, right? When we love ourselves, we attract in people that want to love us too. Because our light is even brighter. When we're around people that try to dim our light, that try to manipulate us to live the life that they want us to live so that we can help them find their happiness, but we're not on a path of finding our own happiness, that is a different path. It's not that you're not willing to help other people, right? Because Gemini, you're so generous. It's not that you're not willing, but you're aligning yourself to making choices every single day, every single choice that you make, so that it is in alignment with what is most important to you. And staying on that path as much as you possibly can will bring in the sense of true love for yourself, but true love for someone else also, right? This is saying, okay, I cannot be in my head, the thinking woman. This is Gemini energy, right? Air energy. But this is the energy of making decisions based on fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear of being alone the rest of your life, right? But asking yourself, what is really important? Do you want to be with the wrong person, but be with somebody for the rest of your life? Or are you willing to allow yourself to say, I'm not allowing people that have, that are not in alignment with my core values, right? Who has core values that are not in alignment with what I want for myself, right? If I don't allow those people in, then I can stay on a path that helps me to go towards what it is that I want and somebody that I can spend my life with, right? It's understanding that when you're good moving forward on this path by yourself, if you have to, in order to stay in alignment with what it is that you want for yourself, that's exactly when love will show up. It is true. It's almost as if when we allow ourselves to let go of that need to have someone in our life, and that we're in this place of truly loving ourselves and making decisions based on what is good for ourselves, we attract in somebody that wants to join us on our path and is willing to support us in what it is that we want for ourselves, and we're willing to support them in what it is that they want for themselves, right? It's just a beautiful, relationship of supporting each other and being on the journey together. Because here's the thing, this is a huge thing. This is a crossroads. You have the judgment card. It's coming in loud and clear. It is time to finish out this energy and to know that you are a newer version of yourself. And will you continue to grow and evolve? Yes. And then maybe in 10 years, you'll be reassessing your core values again. They do change as we change. Our core values and what is important to us changes because we gain new insight, wisdom, perspective, right? We see things from different perspectives, and therefore we just kind of like change. We get more insight about it all. And you have the seventh chakra here, right? Aligning with your intuition, aligning to your higher self, allowing yourself to make decisions based on that. It is time to clean up any of the energy of making decisions based on fear. Remember, there's only love and fear. So if you're making your decisions out of that space of love for yourself and for the direction that you want to go on in your life, right? If you're making your decisions based on love for yourself, then your choices will lead you to exactly what it is that you are wanting. If you're making decisions based on fear someone will get upset and leave your life, fear that you'll lose your job, fear that whatever, right? You'll be alone the rest of your life. We all have those fears. But if we don't allow the fears to be part of our decision, then we are in alignment with what it is that we really truly want for ourselves. This is a beautiful message. There's a wonderful book called Love is Letting Go of Fear by Gerald Jampolsky. It's kind of a quick read, but he really does a great job of allowing you to see the difference between love and fear, making decisions based on love as much as you possibly can. That's what the King of Cups does. The King of Cups stays in his loving energy and makes decisions, every single decision, if you think about it. When you wake up in the morning, right, and you the very first things that you do in the morning, right? Even eating breakfast, right? If you're eating a breakfast that is a loving breakfast, a breakfast made out of a loving choice for what is best for yourself long term, right? You're going to eat a healthy breakfast. But if it's out of this fear, right, of I'm going to be late or, whatever it is, it's kind of like, then you could be making decisions about what you eat for breakfast that are not healthy for you long term. Fear a lot of times is trying to get you through the next minute, the next hour, the next day, the next week. Love, making decisions out of love, are making decisions out of what is best for us long term. And looking the fear in the eye and saying, that's okay. I may be 5 minutes late for work, but I'd rather be 5 minutes late for work and have a healthy cholesterol level or whatever it is, right? And to feed my body what it needs long term. And also, it is about understanding that if you're so fearful of being late for work, right, that you're eating garbage or you're not even eating breakfast, right, then it's kind of saying, okay, what's the next step? Next step might be waking up an extra 10 minutes early because you love yourself enough to eat a healthy breakfast before you go out the door. And that might mean you have to go to bed 15 minutes earlier the night before, but that's okay. You're making that decision not out of fear, but you're making that decision because you love yourself enough that that's important to you. What are your core values? Asking yourself, what are your core values, and aligning your decisions based on the love for yourself and for your core values. Try it. Just try it for a week. It's amazing. And if you're kind of like, well, I was going to go to bed, at 9 o'clock. I go to bed early. If I was going to go to bed at 9 o'clock, but then, I started watching this movie and blah, blah, blah. And before I knew it was 11:30. So then I woke up the next day and I was running late. You know the scenario, we all do it, right? It's kind of like, but if you can say to yourself, it's really important. I can't finish watching this movie tonight because I go to bed at 9 o'clock because it's the best thing for me. I'm doing it out of a love for myself. Yeah, kind of asking yourself, when you were a child, you probably were told what time you had to go to bed, what time the lights had to be out, right? This is you stepping up and being accountable for your own safety and security. Okay, this is the root chakra, nurturing yourself. The root chakra is about inner child. Okay, childhood. Were you nurtured? Did you get the nurturing you needed as a child? And if you didn't, this is the energy of loving yourself enough to say, yeah, I don't need somebody to tell me to go to bed at 9 o'clock. I know for a fact that I feel better the next day if I do go to bed at 9 o'clock. And I love myself enough that I am going to go to bed at 9 o'clock. It's just the way that we kind of phrase it or think about it, right? You're being asked to break those patterns because you have this energy. Happy family, happy home, celebration. This is also the wedding card for those of you wanting that in your life. But it is financial success, abundance, right? It's having the strong 4 pillars of life, right? The 4 sectors, the 4 most important sectors of your life, being balanced in life, loving yourself enough to say, I need this balance. I need that work-play balance. I need the fun, the fun time. Yes, you need time for work. I need time to go and do activities or to watch that movie, right? But choosing to do it maybe on the weekend instead of a work day. It's just learning how to balance those things so that you can enjoy life and all of that it has to offer, right? This is a beautiful life. It's kind of asking yourself, what can I do so that I can enjoy it the most? All right, Gemini, let's pull a soul truth card for you. And I do personal readings. So if you're interested, the link is in the description box below. I'd really be honored to do a reading for you. Let's see what we have here for your final advice. To where does my soul want to travel? Yes, I think that this is the energy of really getting in tune with who you are and what it is that you want. Maybe that's the first step. If you're somebody that's like, I have no idea what I want, it's probably because you have spent your entire life, right, doing things that will make other people happy, or going on trips, right, that other people wanted to go on instead of asking yourself, where would I like to go? This is the energy of taking one baby step towards what it is that you want for yourself. And maybe that starts with a vision board of places that you would like to travel. You would like to travel, whether you have somebody to travel with or not. It's not about that. It's about going within, asking yourself, when I look in the mirror and I sit by this tree, if I can find the tree again, right? And I sit by the tree and I think about it. Where is it that I would like to go? What would I like to experience? So it says, when we travel, we grow. We open our little worlds to more adventure, thrills, patience, understanding, trust, and oneness. Our hearts and minds expand and our desires are satisfied. Where is your soul calling you to visit? Yeah, and it's time to start thinking about that. Where would you like to go? I'd love to hear in the comments, where would you like to go, Gemini? And that is the first step, is just putting it out there, right? You are manifesting, so keep your energy positive, right? Saying out loud, saying in the comments, where is it that you would like to go? Allowing yourself to take that first baby step. Just saying it out loud is the first step towards moving towards what it is your heart truly desires. All right, Gemini, I am going to leave it there. I really and truly appreciate you so much. Thank you for all of your comments and likes and subscribing. It really does help to get my message out to more people, and I really do appreciate you. Much love and light. See you on Sunday for your weekly reading. Bye-bye. Bye for now.